everyone, we're at the Retrobit booth now at CES 2019. It's not PC enthusiast hardware, but we've covered some of the classic consoles lately. You might have seen our PS1 Classic look, might have seen our Superboy look. This one, it's by a different company. It's the Genesis portable system. It's new here at the show. Some stuff is still TBD, so let's just get that out of the way first. The chassis externally probably going to change. Some of the buttons might change a bit, but just for an early look, this might interest some of you for going back to the Genesis in a sort of handheld form factor, because it can also output via HDMI if you want to output to a more modern, larger display. Before that, this video is brought to you by the Deep-Cool Captain 240 Pro AIO cooler. The Captain 240 Pro uses a bladder within the water tank to expand and contract based upon liquid temperature as a leak prevention mechanism. This works by burping air at higher temperatures, making for a unique closed-loop liquid cooler design. The Captain 240 Pro also expands upon the existing Captain series by extending tube length for more flexible positioning and updating the LEDs. Learn more at the link in the description below. So, go over the buttons first, I guess. D-pad on the left side, you've got all the core buttons on the right side, two speakers oriented in the bottom, so bottom left, bottom right, HDMI output on the top, PAL and NTSC switch, so something we saw also on the Superboy. We've seen it on, well, the PS1 Classic sort of resolved it internally, but back when PAL and NTSC were more of a problem, these cartridges obviously will need to be adapted to that based on the region you're in. So PAL, NTSC switch, it is a cart reader. So this is not a software thing. There's no internal game storage. It doesn't store a bunch of the games. It's not emulation. And it's, again, just like the Superboy, if you saw our coverage of that, you insert the cartridge, it'll play off the cartridge, and that takes care of it. Don't know what the CPU is going to be at this time, but probably no software involved. So insert the cartridge, it should just work, to use Jensen's quote. And then on or off switch on the top left, of course, DC in. A couple things on the bottom that are slightly obscured by the just the display 3M tape, so ignore the tape there. That's for the show only, obviously. But that's looking at probably about $70, release maybe in June, and then the size, the form factor of the console might change a little bit. But Genesis Portable is the name that they're working with right now. The next one, immediately across from that, is the N64 Tribute controller. So these are in a wireless USB and the original form factor connector that you can plug into the N64. If you use the original, has a built-in, for the original console, has a built-in rumble pack, I guess, or a motor. So you don't have to use the original rumble pack, but you can, and then the USB options have a built-in memory card reader. But if not, USB and wireless are available as options. $30 for this one right here, and then $25 next to it. You might notice it's a bit different from the original true N64 controller. Whether or not that bothers you, that's entirely up to you. Some people probably liked that, and if they did, then I am sorry for whatever happened to you to make you like the original controller. But the N64 Tribute is just kind of interesting. There's a couple more we'll look at on the other wall, and then I think there's a cartridge we can talk about too. So this section, we'll keep it a bit shorter, but these are officially licensed by Sega products, by Retrobit at their booth, so nothing fishy going on. But if you wanted an officially licensed Genesis, there's a Dreamcast, there's a Saturn controller, so too many controllers for me to memorize, frankly. We'll show some B-roll so you can see what they are. But plenty of products. I guess the idea here is same thing as the N64 Tribute. You can plug into USB right here. There are some wireless options, there's some original connector options, and I guess it just comes down to if you're playing something, for example, an existing emulator on your PC, which is not provided by Retrobit, but I'm positive you could find online somewhere probably, then you can plug this in via USB and might give you a bit more authentic experience. So kind of cool. We wanted to point it out for something a bit different for the show. Finally, there's a cartridge too. So Retrobit has a couple of these. This one, it's an IREM licensed game, so they still exist. And Retrobit went and got the license for it. They've got a $60 cartridge for Metal Storm, and we've got some shots of it as well. But these have been launched before by Retrobit. It's just the newest one. And I guess if you're looking for that kind of thing, rather than buying it through eBay and getting the original for potentially hundreds of dollars, you've got an option in a legitimate new cartridge. So wanted to point these out. Again, it's not PC enthusiast hardware coverage, but cool stuff, and it's a bit of a fun break from the 6 videos a day of CPUs, GPUs, and motherboards. So thank you for watching. As always, subscribe for more. Go to patreon.com/gamersnexus to help us out directly, and I suppose check out Retrobit as well if any of this stuff interests you. And we'll see you all next time.